I built this game in 48 hours. I'm gonna show you now how I did that. I'm a host of gamedev London and we hosted this year GlobalGameJam, and I know 2 people who wanted to build the game with me, so we thought, let's do it. The team consists of Simon, who's responsible for the music, Tom, who does sound design, and myself, who does pixel art and the programming. The theme was Lost and Found, so we settled on an idea where a tiny little robot lands on a planet and tries to rediscover little gems for an ancient alien tribe. The first thing I always do during game jams is starting with the main character, so I opened a sprite and created a little robot sprite. Once I set up the tile map, I attached a little movement script to the robot and I could actually walk around in the world. I then pixeled 4 different gems in different colors and created a gem scene to add them to the world. I've added a collision layer so the gem knows when the player is nearby and it will follow them automatically. But what can the player do with these gems? We had this idea that the player can go back to the village and activate totems with it, and for every totem activated, a new instrument starts playing. The villagers on this alien planet are very sad, and by bringing music back into their lives, we actually rescue the day. I pixeled the totem in sprite, and I had this idea that once the totem is activated by inserting a gem, it kinda charges up and opens its eyes. The inspiration for the design comes from playing countless hours Monkey Island and Golden Sun. Tom then went ahead and created a very nice sound effect for the charging up animation.
This is a quick look at the sound effect that plays when Corgi returns a gem to a totem and it charges up to play its music. So it starts with this charging phase, which is a mix of a wooden object sliding along a surface and some liquid being poured. And then when the eyes open, there's this chant sound effect. What? I didn't have anything in my library I liked for this, so this is a self-record. It's 3 different takes with a chorus effect and pitch shifted down. It didn't quite have the impact it needed though, so there's a wooden impact as well. And then finally, for a little bit of sparkly magic, there's some wind chimes fade in and out across the effect. And this is what it all sounds like together.
What? Once the totem activation worked and was implemented, Simon went ahead and composed the music that will be played by the totems.
Here's what I ended up with. This is the first layer, a lute kind of sound. It's just rhythmic foundation and the chords. Then the second layer is just the bass, played by a bassoon. And the next layer is the first kind of flute layer, which is played by 2 oboes and 2 flutes. And it has this nice kind of marching band feeling, cheerful, happy. And the 4th layer in the end is just another layer of flutes, so it just gets more chaotic, just more things happening in the music.
How do I ensure that all these instruments play in sync? For example, if the player delivers a gem a bit later, how does that new totem that starts playing know where to continue playing? Godot comes to the rescue here. The audio stream player defines a method called getPlaybackPosition. I assign all totems to a group and then look up the totems by that group and check if any totem is already playing. And if one totem is already playing, I'm using that position as the playback position. However, the totems alone are useless if there's no one to listen to the music. Therefore, we have to introduce NPCs, or the villagers. We 3 are huge Star Wars fans, so we initially wanted to have some kind of Ewok design, but I discarded that later for a more aquatic look. Each alien owns basically 1 totem and is very sad because the totem is not activated. Once the player activates the totem, the alien becomes very happy and starts cheering. Since we are in a game jam here and the game needs to be built in 48 hours, there was not much time to animate all these things by hand in pixel art. Instead, we chose a more cheaper but effective solution by using emote bubbles and sound effects. Once we hit the last day of the jam, we realized we might have a little problem here. We focused so much on the core game mechanic that we absolutely forgot to, well, implement the world. In the last few hours of the jam, I created a tile set by using Tilesetter, and I also implemented the menu system and the game overflow. It really shows that we ran out of time. The world just consists of a couple of trees, and collisions are very weird. Overall, I'm very happy with the result. The totem activation looks awesome, and even if we couldn't finish all the features we intended, the game feels still very round, and we actually have a game loop. One last thing, did you know that the game we've built automatically deploys to itch.io and produces versions for all kinds of operating systems? I created a tutorial and you can find it in the description. I also left a link to the game so you can play it and give me feedback. I also have a Discord. Feel free to join and also subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you next time.
What?